Greetings everyone, it's your guy, the Urban Window Farmer. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of the Martian Tower Garden growing indoors under LED lights here in my kitchen. What I'm going to do is start from the top of the tower, work my way down, giving you guys a status of each of the plants growing in the tower. And then I will wrap around. The tower has 8 sides, so I'll try to get all sides and show you guys, give you guys an update on each plant as it's growing in the tower. Let's get started. So starting at the top left here, we have a passion vine. And the passion vine, you can see it's thriving. It's very bushy. It has a lot of new growth to it, and you can see the vine is shooting up towards my ceiling. You can see a lot of tendrils and leaves coming off. In the ceiling, towards the ceiling, there's no LED light, so it's not as bushy as this part of the plant. Okay, on the right, there's another passion vine. Same situation, so it's shooting up towards the ceiling. It's also, you can see vines going to the left, going towards the right. A lot of new growth. It's very green. It's flourishing. I have not noticed any flowers coming yet, but the plant is rather new. I would expect flowers in a couple months. But have a look at this passion vine. And I've done some research on passion vines, and the leaves also can be consumed. I haven't tried consuming them yet, but you can consume some of the leaves on the vine as well. So have a good look at the passion vine. Next, I want to show you a Determinate cherry tomato plant. Determinate meanings it will get to a certain size, it'll fruit, then it will stop growing, and then it will yield to the next generation. So I had another cherry tomato plant in there. It already gave all of its fruit, so I took it out and disposed of it. And these are new ones that are coming up. I started with one AeroGarden pod and 3 plants started to grow from that AeroGarden pod. I thinned them out and gave each of them their own pod to grow in. You can see next I have this pepper plant. The pepper plant, I harvested all of the peppers off of that plant. I think last video, if you were to watch my last video, you would see it was full of peppers. I harvested all of those peppers and made pepper sauce with it. But you can see a lot of new growth on the plant, a lot of new buds coming, so I expect the next generation of peppers to come from this plant as well. Okay, on the right here I have a cilantro plant. I think I have 4 different cilantro plants in the Martian Tower Garden because I use cilantro so frequently for cooking, so this is one of them. Okay, and at the bottom of the tower here, we have one more pepper plant. You can see there's a red pepper there. I didn't harvest it yet. I wanted it to grow a little bit longer. I'll be harvesting it shortly, but all other peppers on this plant have already been harvested, and we're working on new growth, new flowers for this pepper plant. Okay, this little guy right here is some kind of lettuce, I think. Not exactly sure what it is. Once it gets larger, I'll be able to tell what it is. But okay, and this is a red velvet lettuce plant. Another situation where I had one pod with like 4 seeds inside of it. I thinned those out and then added them all to their own pod, and they're all starting to thrive pretty well here in the tower. Okay, moving to the other side of the tower, I have, this is a green onion plant. So there's 2 in there. So I experimented before. I basically took a cutting of a green onion. That worked, so this time I put 2 in there. And that's also working. I've been able to regrow the green onions pretty well. Then next I have this cilantro plant. This is the largest of the cilantro plants. I think it has the best lighting situation. Been harvesting from it pretty frequently as well. I'll need to harvest more. And that right there is the first green onion plant that I tried to regrow. Had a lot of success with that, so I did it several more times throughout the tower. And right here is a passion vine. This passion started indoors. It's a little small passion fruit. It's already starting to create tendrils, as you see, and it's starting to shoot up and vine out, it's like most vines tend to do. And here I have another variety of lettuce, a little bit smaller. It's being shaded a little bit by the cilantro. I will need to cut the cilantro back so that this plant can get more of that LED lighting. If you see here, I have a small seedling. This is a cayenne pepper seedling. What I did was I took a red cayenne pepper, like here it is right here. I just took some seeds from this and one of these and just put them in in one of the pods. I put 3 in there and all 3 germinated, so I thinned them out. So there's 3 different cayenne pepper plants in there as well. And then next I have more of this red velvet lettuce. I like the flavor of this lettuce, so eat what you grow, grow what you eat. So I decided to grow more of that because I will eat it pretty quickly. And you can see it's almost at that point where you can start harvesting the outer leaves. And there's one more passion fruit plant in there, very small. This is the youngest one, but you can see it's looking very green, very healthy. And then next, I have this pepper plant. This pepper plant, I decided to keep the peppers on a little bit longer. I'm just curious how large they can get. I think these kind of peppers would be very good for like some kind of stuffed pepper recipe. So I want to see how large they can get. Let them to continue to grow, but look how shiny they look. They look great. And on this plant there's also a few more flowers, so hoping that the other flowers will also start to grow peppers as well. But look at the size of that compared to my hand. It's a good sized pepper. Moving on, another variety of lettuce. This one has only been in the tower a couple weeks, but it's already starting to grow some pretty mature leaves. And then here I have a leek plant. Another situation where I decided to regrow the leek. So right at that point where you see the white part is where I cut and used it for cooking. Decided to regrow the rest of it. And then we have a couple more green onions here that I've decided to regrow as well. And then one more down there, another green onion. So I use a lot of green onions, so I decided to, whenever I cut them, just put them back in the tower and just regrow them. Moving down here, I have this, I believe is a green mustard plant. And then I have some more lettuce down there, and to the left you have another one of the cherry tomato plants. You can see that a little bit more clearly. That's the cherry tomato plant. Started off with three seedlings, and now they're 3 pretty good sized plants. So just give you a quick look at this side of the tower, up and down, what we have here on this side. Alright, moving on to this side of the tower. So this side of the tower, for the most part, there's one very large yellow pear cherry tomato plant. And this is an indeterminate variety, so it will continue growing as long as the conditions are right for growth. So when I first brought it in, it looked like it was all stem and fruit, and then it started to grow new leaves and started fruiting again. So I'm curious to see how long this thing will continue fruiting. So moving on, you can see here there's another pepper plant, another plant where I took most of the peppers off, but you can see there's new flowers popping up on the plant. So I would expect a new generation of peppers on this plant. Alright, you can see more of that yellow pear cherry tomato plant. It's a very big plant. Starts from the top of the tower and goes all the way down. Alright, so moving on, you can see here on the kind of back side of the Martian Tower Garden, I have mostly romaine lettuce. So I have 7 different romaine lettuce plants. This is another variety of lettuce that I really like to eat. So I plant a lot of them because I'm going to eat a lot of them. So sometimes I'll take the entire plant out and just harvest the whole thing, and sometimes I'll just take out the outer leaves and harvest that way. But you can see these romaine lettuce plants are doing quite well. And then here's another of the green mustard plants. That little plant right there is a green mustard plant. Close-up of the romaine lettuce. It's a little bit hard to get to this side of the tower because it's so close to the wall. But if I was able to wrap around, you would see more of these romaine lettuce plants going down the side of the tower. Okay, let me try to wrap around a little bit better. Okay, so here is another, if I can get this to zoom in. Okay, here's another of the romaine lettuce plants, a little bit smaller one that I put in a little later, another one back there, another one. So, like I said, I think there's around 7 total, and I've already harvested. You can see some empty slots there where I've already harvested a couple of the romaine lettuce plants out of the tower. Thanks for watching. If you do like this kind of content, please become a member of the channel. I'm also going to suggest a couple more videos that you may want to watch here. You can see a video when I first brought my tower garden indoors, and also a video about thinning lettuce plants. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.